The morning began quietly in the Hadzabe community near Lake Hayasi. The air was cool, mixed with the scent of dry season earth. Mim, a young man with a strong build and determined features, walked briskly toward a large tree where the community's youths gathered before hunting. There, he expected to find his younger brother, Njebka, but he was nowhere to be seen. "Has anyone seen Njebka?" Mim asked in a deep, worried voice. The 7 other hunters exchanged glances before shaking their heads. No one knew where his younger brother was. Mim felt a heaviness in his chest but masked it, determined not to show vulnerability in front of the group. The hunt had to go on. Accompanied by their loyal dogs, the hunters entered the forest. The atmosphere was tense, with everyone relying on the sound of animal footsteps and the rustling of leaves to reveal prey. An hour later, they successfully tracked the footprints of a large warthog. The pursuit was thrilling, the dogs barked eagerly, the hunters crept silently forward, gripping their spears tightly. When the warthog sensed their presence, it bolted, trying to escape. The dogs chased it down, cornering it into a strategically planned trap. With one expertly aimed arrow to its neck, Mim ended the chase. The group erupted in victorious laughter, knowing the meat would bring joy to their community. As they made their way back to the village, carrying their heavy catch, they passed a well-known ravine filled with dry season sand. This ravine was infamous for being a hiding spot for animals and, occasionally, a dangerous area for hunters. While crossing the ravine, one of the dogs began sniffing nervously and barking. The group froze, their senses heightened. They gripped their weapons, ready for anything. Then they spotted 2 figures in the distance speaking in hushed tones. As they approached, they realized it was Njebka and Nzes, Mim's wife. Mim felt his blood boil. Without a second thought, he raised his arrow and aimed it at Njebka. "How dare you disgrace me like this, Njebka," he shouted angrily. But before the arrow could strike, Njebka dodged with remarkable agility. Nze stepped between them, raising her hands in a plea for peace. "Wait, Mim. Please listen first," Nze said, her voice trembling. Mim paused, but his hand still gripped the arrow tightly. The other hunters surrounded Njebka, preventing him from escaping. They demanded an explanation. It was then that Nzes revealed a truth that stunned everyone present. "Before my marriage to Mim, I was in a relationship with Njebka. When I was married to Mim, I tried to forget everything. But a week after the wedding, I discovered I was pregnant. According to our customs, I knew I couldn't have another man's child while being Mim's wife. I came to find Njebka to explain the situation," Nze said, tears streaming down her cheeks. Mim, standing like a statue, felt the world spinning around him. "Why, Njebka? We are of the same blood. Why do you not respect me?" he asked, his voice filled with anguish. Njebka stood humbly, his eyes filled with sorrow. "My brother, I made the decision to part ways with Nzes out of respect for you. This was not my intention. We met here because Nzes wanted to tell me about the pregnancy. I was ready to accept that you would raise the child as part of the community and Nzes would remain your wife. You are my brother and your honor means everything to me." Those words moved everyone standing in the ravine. The other hunters looked on in astonishment. This was not just a family matter but also a profound lesson in community solidarity. Mim, tears streaming down his face, dropped his arrow. He approached his younger brother and embraced him tightly. "Njebka, you are more than a brother to me. You are a part of my heart. We will stand together as a family." Joy returned suddenly. The youths cheered Njebka for his courageous decision. Nze stood to the side, relieved to see true love triumph over anger and hatred. They returned to the village carrying their catch and a heavy secret, vowing that none of them would speak of this to the elders. Life went on, but the ravine remained a sacred place for Mim, Jebka, and Zeis, a site where they learned the true meaning of family, love, and forgiveness.